unveils a new mural honoring the city's Black community. Plus, how tensions between the Philippines and China could pull in the United States. And today is the first day of summer, how to stay safe in the sun. Newswatch starts right now.
Despite this week's hot weather, today is the first official day of summer. Good evening, I'm Betty Kankambwedu. Welcome to Newswatch. Newswatch forecaster Isabel Isco has more on what to expect as we enter the season. Isabel?
This heat is really coming on. We're going to be seeing this heat advisory that we've been seeing all week continue into this weekend. It goes until Saturday at 8 p.m. It has really been a warm one out there, and it's just starting off summer, continuing this warm trend. You can see that for this first day of summer, we're going to be seeing those temperatures. Overnight, we dipped into those 60s, not very cool one out there. And as we get into the heat of the day, the peak of the day, we saw Athens reach that peak temperature of 92, but with that heat index, it felt more like near to the 100. We're going to be seeing currently out there, we're at 90 still. For 6:30, 90 is very, very warm. That is going to be continuing to cool down as the night goes on, but we're still going to be seeing a warm one. We're going to be also seeing this humidity 40%. That is just going to be increasing as the night goes on, and we're going to have a really muggy start to our day tomorrow and going into the rest of the night. We're going to be seeing those temperatures all throughout southeast Ohio. Like I said, Athens 89, Lancaster 89 as we go a little bit more north and south. They're still in those 90-degree temperatures. We're just going to be starting that cool down throughout the night. We're going to be seeing that southeast Ohio radar. We were seeing a little bit of that chance of rain, just a few pop-ups off to the more central part of the state, just from that humidity and that cloud cover. But other than that, it has been a really warm one and a clear one out there. We're going to be seeing throughout the week tonight. Oh, tonight we're going to be seeing that low of 68, and we're going to be seeing those skies really get very humid looking into the rest of the week. And I'll be talking about that in my full forecast. Let's get back over to Betty.
Thanks, Isabel. If you need to beat the heat in these temperatures, here are some things you can do to stay safe. Make sure you're drinking enough water, between 2 and 4 cups every hour while working out or exercising outside. Keep an eye on high-risk groups like infants, young children, and older adults. Protect your skin by using sunscreen with SPF of 30 or higher. Watch out for these signs of heat exhaustion and seek medical attention if you are experiencing any of these symptoms. Walk by the Mount Zion Baptist Church in Athens and you'll see a new mural commemorating the history of Black Americans in the city. The Mount Zion Baptist Church Preservation Society unveiled the Rose Window mural yesterday as part of its Juneteenth celebration. The mural, made by artist Keith Wild and 80 other volunteers, features narratives on the origins of the church. The building is undergoing renovation to become a Black cultural center. While the rehabilitation is ongoing, the mural will serve as a reminder to what the church was.
It takes a village, and it has taken the village to get us this far. We're doing the work that our ancestors is sending us forward to do. So I'm so thankful to have the village support.
Renovations on the church are expected to be done by 2026. A new state bill could lead to over $4 billion in spending across the state. Senate Bill 292 authorizes spending to upgrade state facilities and local infrastructure. It includes $600 million in spending on schools, $400 million in local infrastructure, and $150 million for local projects. This could be the largest capital bill in Ohio history and is expected to be voted on during next week's session. The FBI has linked an Ohio man to a double murder that has remained unsolved for nearly 3 decades. Leo Jackson Sr.'s DNA was found on evidence from the murders of Lolly Winans and Julie Williams in Virginia's Shenandoah National Park in 1996. The 2 women were murdered at their campsite near the Skyland Resort. Jackson died in prison back in 2018 while serving time for kidnapping and rape in Cleveland. Agents confirmed the match and were able to notify the victim's family. A Caldwell attorney who was suspended for throwing Pringles can full of own feces has been reinstated. Jack Blakesley completed his 6-month suspension on Tuesday and has regained his law license. The court says Blakely complied with conditions including no further misconduct. During the disciplinary process, he claimed the prank didn't target anyone, but he threw the feces-filled cans over 10 times. Coming up, the Philippines accuses China of an assault, how the United States could be involved, and how will the high temperatures affect your bills this summer.
We're going to be looking into a very warm weekend. When are those temperatures finally going to cool down? Next on Newswatch.
The Black preaching tradition is deeply connected to gospel music. Our singers preach and our preachers sing.
God, we ask that you reinvigorate somebody.
You feel it deep down in your soul. It makes you want to shout. It makes you want to sing.
That's beautiful. Tonight at 9 on WOUB. Fasten your seatbelts.
This is amazing.
Wow.
Did you vote? It feels like I have a home.
These are your immigrant ancestors.
This is wild.
Never anticipated this. I am forever changed.
I'm pleased to tell you you're going to be finding your roots.
Are we really this close?
I can't tell you what we found, but what we found was you.
This is you on the cusp of your next chapter.
It's a passageway into something new.
It just seeps into you.
It's a groundbreaking moment.
We can make it ours.
We're coming out hot. We're starting here. It's definitely going to be a treat for their palate.
What a story.
She had the imagination of a genius.
Each time I go up there, it's the sense of newness.
3, 2, 1.
Showtime.
We're all running.
It's beautiful.
Cherish every moment. Continue to laugh.
We hope you'll join us.
There is no going back.
It's time for a new beginning.
With rising tensions between China and the Philippines, Manila is accusing China's Coast Guard of launching what it calls a, quote, brutal assault. This occurred during a South China Sea clash earlier this week. Ivan Watson looks at how the U.S. might find itself being drawn in.
A high seas confrontation that could ignite a war. In the middle is a boat belonging to U.S. ally, the Philippines, sandwiched by the China Coast Guard in the heavily contested South China Sea on Monday. Footage released by the Armed Forces of the Philippines shows its uniformed sailors attempting to fight back. Some Chinese Coast Guard personnel armed with axes and knives. But Beijing says the Philippines started it.
Law enforcement measures taken by the China Coast Guard at the site were professional and restrained.
China says it seized guns and ammunition from the Philippines ship, which was en route to the Second Thomas Shoal. It is in Manila's exclusive economic zone, but Beijing claims almost all of the South China Sea for itself. In March, I was on board a Philippine Coast Guard ship on one of these routine trips. Chinese Coast Guard ships swarmed the Philippine ship. It is just after sunrise, and as you may see, there is a large Chinese Coast Guard ship directly in front of this Philippines Coast Guard vessel. A Chinese Coast Guard ship blasted another Philippine boat with water cannons. Monday's clash marks a clear escalation, with multiple Philippine servicemen injured. Just last month, the Philippine president drew this red line.
if a Filipino citizen is killed by a willful act, that is, I think, very, very close to what we define as an act of war, and therefore we will respond accordingly.
If that happens, the United States could be called to help the Philippines, and some experts argue Manila already has grounds to invoke its mutual defense treaty with the U.S., which has increased its military presence in the Philippines, angering China.
The Philippines would be perfectly within its rights under the treaty to go to the United States and say, this meets the terms of Article 3, we need your help, and enter into those formal high-level consultations about what is to be done.
In a call with his Filipino counterpart this week, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said the U.S. commitment to defending the Philippines is ironclad. This simmering maritime dispute now threatens to boil over, with all the potential for a much greater conflict. Ivan Watson, CNN.
Justices are due to go on summer recess in just days and not return until October. In the meantime, the White House is bracing for a U.S. Supreme Court ruling on another historic abortion case. This one focuses on whether federal law to provide emergency care can override state abortion bans. The Biden administration sued the state of Idaho, which allows exceptions to its abortion ban when a life of the mother is at risk. The administration argued that federal law requires the law to allow an abortion if it's needed to stabilize a patient, even when the mother's condition isn't yet life-threatening. The decision could yield the most significant ruling on abortion since the rule reversal. The United States is now prioritizing critical air defense systems for Ukraine over other countries. A senior White House official said the Biden administration is making the move to, quote, ensure Ukraine's survival in the face of Russia's ongoing assault. The systems will enhance the Ukrainian military ability to defend themselves against missile and drone attacks. The officials also called the policy switch extraordinary, given the critical moment for Ukraine. Air defense systems deliveries will start in the coming weeks.
Looking over southeast Ohio, you can see those temperatures. It's Athens still in those 90s, Lancaster 89, and Huntington 91. We are still definitely warm for it being the time 6:42. It is still definitely a warm one out there. We are under that heat advisory until Saturday at 8 p.m. and it is just looking warmer and warmer for Saturday. We are looking at tonight, that overnight low of 68. Those mostly clear skies. You can see that tonight sunset 9 p.m. our longest day of the year, first day of summer. It is going to be a nice one out there. Definitely get outside tonight instead of during that peak heat during the day. You can see that tomorrow we're going to be seeing that temperature high of 95. With that 20% chance of thunderstorms, that means that it's going to be very humid one out there. During the highest heat of the day, about that 2 o'clock to about 5 o'clock tomorrow, we are going to be seeing that heat index at its highest, almost triple digits, looking at tomorrow in Athens. So definitely wait to go outside. Try and do your outdoor activities in that morning and after that sunset about this time tomorrow to keep from being outside during that peak heat and potentially to get out of those thunderstorms for tomorrow, that low of 70. So definitely a warmer one than today for tomorrow. You'll be seeing that tomorrow morning. We do have a chance for some fog. There is going to be a little bit of humidity in the air. We have a chance for a little bit of the morning fog to start out our day. Then we're going to continue with that humidity all throughout the day. We're going to be seeing this time tomorrow. It is going to be starting to dry out by this time, but we are still going to be seeing this low pressure system giving more rain to parts of northern Ohio and then just really making it a little uncomfortable here in southeast Ohio. We're going to be seeing on Saturday, that is whenever this high pressure kind of moves into the area. It's going to be a lot drier looking more into the weekend, but it is going to be a lot warmer. We're looking at Saturday having those heat indexes in those triple digits and exceeding just a little bit. We're going to be looking at a little bit above 100 for our Saturday. We're going to be seeing that continue into the night. We're going to be seeing on that 7-day outlook. The next time that we're going to be in those 80s is Monday. So definitely we're almost out of it. And then we're just going to be in those 90s once again. We're going to be looking at that. We're going to be seeing Saturday that high of 96, but with that heat index, we're going to be feeling like over those 100s. And then Sunday, we're going to have that chance of thunderstorms once again. And then we're going to be looking a little bit more seasonal, looking into next week. Let's take it back over to Betty.
Thanks, Isabel. Now, keeping cool could burn a hole in many U.S. households' budgets this summer. Average monthly power bills are expected to be 3% higher in June, July, and August compared to last year, according to the Energy Information Administration. The surge in cost comes largely from people using air conditioning to combat the hot and humid weather. A senior meteorologist at Maxar says this month may end up being the hottest since 1950. If you drive an electric vehicle, those high temperatures could cause your car to lose range. In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan looks at why temperatures impact EVs and what drivers can do to help ensure their cars perform well in the heat.
A record-breaking heat wave is sweeping across the U.S., with temperatures soaring to dangerous levels in the Northeast and Midwest. More than 260 million people will experience temperatures at or above 90 degrees this week, and the summer season is just getting underway.
We're seeing the sort of heat that you really don't expect to see well into July.
Keeping cool in the excessive heat can be a challenge. It can also take a toll on our cars, especially electric ones.
Electric cars don't enjoy really cold weather or really hot weather.
Andy Garberson works at Recurrent, a company that tracks the performance of EV batteries. They looked at more than 7,500 cars connected to Recurrent's platform and found that EVs can lose between 15 to 31% of their drivable range when the temperature soars to 95 degrees and above.
If you are driving in hot weather, there needs to be extra energy to power the air conditioner to keep you and the battery nice and comfortable.
EV owners can take steps to make sure their car performs better in the heat, such as never letting the charge drop extremely low, parking in the shade, or in a garage. Greg Brannon with AAA found out firsthand what can happen when you park your car in the summer sun. He says his car's battery lost nearly 20% of its charge due to the heat.
What happened, because the car was probably 140 degrees inside from the temperature, and the car is literally using the energy out of the battery to keep that battery cool.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
The world used a record amount of oil, coal, and gas last year. The Energy Institute released a report finding the growth in fossil fuel drove a 2.1% increase in energy-related emissions in 2023. The report says the increase pushed global carbon pollution to more than 40 billion metric tons. The good news is researchers also found the world is adding clean, renewable energy sources at record levels. Now, the global energy demand is growing so fast that fossil fuels are being increasingly used to fill the gaps. Nearly half of large U.S. firms say they plan to use artificial intelligence to do work previously done by human employees. And over 80% of large companies say that they have already leaned on software equipment for tech, including AI, to conduct employee tasks in the past year. Companies aren't just using the technology as a tool to cut costs, but also to make their workers more productive. Experts say eventually some human jobs will be replaced, but will be replaced by other humans using AI. Next, today is the first day of summer. How to stay safe in the sun. And for the latest from Newswatch, follow us on X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
Stop skimming.
stop scrolling.
Just listen.
100 years ago today, they walked away from the
All you need
in one place.
every afternoon.
Los Angeles. I fell in love with pinball 6 or 7 years ago.
All things considered from NPR.
This November's election will be critical. We will be electing a new president, a new Congress, and scores of state and local leaders. We'll be asked to approve initiatives from abortion to taxes to education. Do you know what's at stake? Will your voice be heard? Many states have made changes on where, when, and how you can vote. To find out what's on your ballot and what you need to know to make sure your vote is counted, go to pbs.org/preservingdemocracy.
I picked up my shovel and I walked to the mines.
I picked up my shovel and I walked to the mines.
I loaded 16 ton of number 9 coal.
A meditation on the complex history and potential future of Central Appalachia. A lyrical mosaic of a place, its people, and way of life. King Cole on POV.
Monday at 10 on WOUB.
Today marks first official day of summer. This time of the year, heat and humidity can wreak havoc on your skin, leading to rashes, acne, and more. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has common summer skin problems you can prevent.
This time of year can make skin itchy, sensitive, even painful.
The weather tends to be warm, with more chance for people being outdoors and more active, with more sun exposure, as well as heat, perspiration, and humidity.
Dermatologist Dr. Susan Masick with Ohio State University's Wexner Medical Center says sweating can cause two of the most common summer skin problems, folliculitis, which is an inflammation of hair follicles, and acne. Help prevent both by keeping skin clean, especially after a workout or being outdoors in heat.
So the most important thing that you can help out with yourself is to decrease the oil production.
This time of year can mean visits to the pool or the beach, which can also affect skin, putting it at risk of becoming dry and irritated. Masick says moisturizer can help with rehydration. And if you're heading out to the woods, watch for poisonous plants.
The best rule of thumb when it comes to poison ivy is try to avoid it as much as possible. Wearing long sleeves, especially if you're hiking or if you're working outdoors. And as soon as you come in, to go ahead and shower up, because it's the oil on the skin that causes the rash.
Finally, protect against a skin discoloration on the face known as melasma by reducing sun exposure.
Using things like sunscreen, sun protection, hats, scarves, anything that will cover sun-exposed areas will help prevent some of this melasma from occurring.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Millions of borrowers will see their monthly student loan payments reduced starting next month. The Biden administration's new repayment plan, known as Saving on Available Education or SAVE, will be fully phased in the summer. For most borrowers, the plan offers a lower monthly payment than other federal loans repayment plans, and it cancels students' debt for some borrowers after they make as few as 10 years of payments. In July, monthly payments on loan borrowed for undergraduate schools will be reduced from 10% to 5% of discretionary income. On the first day of summer, consumers say they are planning to spend less on away-from-home entertainment or vacations this year. That's according to the 2024 KPMG Consumer Pulse Survey. It's a contrast to last summer when Americans shelled out big bucks at the movies, concert tickets, and getaways. The survey found on average Americans expect to reduce their monthly spending on dining out by 9%, 8% for entertainment and media, and 7% on travel and vacations. Toyota is now recalling 145,000 SUVs. Grand Highlander and Lexus TS models are included. The problem is both vehicles have certain airbags on the driver's side that may not deploy if that window is rolled down. Toyota hasn't worked out a fix yet. That's expected soon, and owners will be notified directly on the recall by mid-August. The SUVs are produced in the same facility, and both are new models that went on sale last year. Still ahead, usually wine gets better with age, but you probably don't want a glass this old. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Experience tells me there's an overwhelming need for answers.
To feel useful would make a massive difference to his state of mind.
Your clock's ticking. I need to see where she drowned.
We're treating it as murder.
You look awful. If you had the merest bat squeak of compassion, you'd put an end to this.
We've got nothing. This is a situation you know little about.
Sunday at 8 on WOUB.
This is Portofino. It's full of love and beauty, but there's always a scandal.
I want to buy your hotel.
I'd rather burn it to the ground than sell it to you.
What have you got yourself involved in?
Be careful. There'll be no going back.
For God's sake, do it!
What's done is done.
On The Great American Recipe. Create a dish spotlighting your go-to ingredients.
Okay. I want to show the judges a great corn tortilla.
I gotta start over. Starting over at 40 minutes to go. Can you open this for me, please?
Yes, I can. You got to make sure that everything on the plate is going to shine.
This is not a low-calorie meal I'm making.
Monday at 9 on WOUB.
I think it's really important for us to grow food in a sustainable, useful, and exciting way.
You know, who in their right mind would raise saltwater shrimp in the state of Minnesota? Now look at them all. Holy, just look at...
So this is the power of science.
Kelp makes a good base for a lot of things that you should be eating. It's beautiful.
Oh, hello. I'm Martha.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
Finally tonight, scientists discovered the world's oldest wine in Spain, and its age is about 2,000 years old. It was in a sealed tomb that a family first discovered in 2019 when having work done to their home in the Spanish town of Carmona. The wine was in a glass funeral urn that had been remarkably well preserved. It also had a surprising ingredient: human remains. A man's ashes were mixed in with it, burying people with items that might help them in the afterlife was common in the Roman Empire. Isabel, I am old enough to drink wine, but I'm not tasting this.
And I might not be old enough to drink wine, but I'm definitely not going to try that, and I don't think I want to be buried with wine, if anything.
I mean, I wouldn't mind, but you know.
Well, let's look at our final look at weather tonight. We're going to be seeing that heat advisory go until Saturday at 8 p.m. We're going to be seeing currently out there that 90-degree skies. We're going to have those clear skies, but looking into tonight, those clear skies are going to be continuing with that overnight low of 68 and that sunset at its latest tonight of 9 p.m. We're going to be seeing tomorrow that 20% chance of thunderstorms in that afternoon hour, and we're going to have that high of 95, and it's going to be feeling like closer to 100 with that combination of that humidity. With that low of 70, it's definitely going to be a little bit of an uncomfortable one out there tomorrow. Looking throughout the rest of the week, we're going to be seeing that Saturday 96 with that humidity and that heat index. It's going to be even hotter than tomorrow. And then throughout the rest of the week, we are going to be seeing a bit of that cool down finally.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Isabel Isco and Betty Kankamwedu, stay tuned for the PBS News Hour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at woub.org or follow us on social media. Have a great night.